What is up, Drum Alert Nation? I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's go right into the news. Now, our first story is about Jake Paul. Yes, this story keeps on going. There's no end in sight. As you may or may not know, Jake Paul is a Disney star on a show called Berserk. His character name is Dirk or whatever. It should be Dork, right? Anyhow, with all this negative press happening with Jake Paul, I keep asking myself, didn't Disney drop PewDiePie over a joke? How the hell have they not dropped Jake Paul? Well, late yesterday, Disney dropped Jake Paul. Jake Paul tweeted out, "I love you all. Thanks for the support. Can't wait to continue to grow and conquer. Jake Paulers will always rise." With a screenshot post that said, "What's up, Jake Paulers? I hate to have to throw crazy news on you guys all at once, but since we are family, I know you will understand and be super supportive. Long story short, my team, Disney Channel, and I have come to an agreement. It's finally time to move on from the Disney family, and Berserk. Being a part of the Disney family for the past 2 years was incredible and a dream come true. I love the castmates and will continue to support Disney, but I have outgrown the channel and I feel it's time to move forward with my career. Blah, 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 blah." And Disney came out with a statement saying this: "We've mutually agreed that Jake Paul will leave his role on the Disney Channel series Berserk," said a spokesman for the network in a statement. "On behalf of our production company, the cast and crew, we thank Jake for his good work on the TV series for the past 18 months and extend our best wishes to him." Now, if it really was a mutual agreement, why the hell is it happening in the middle of the season? Variety came out with an article titled, "Jake Paul exits Disney Channel's Berserk mid-season." You know, this reminds me of when your girlfriend breaks up with you, but then you tell all your friends, "Hey, I actually dumped her." I'm only speculating here, but I'm pretty sure Disney wanted to get rid of Jake, but wanted to do it so they wouldn't have Jake Paul's fans attack Disney. Because if it was a mutual agreement between Jake Paul and Disney, then Jake wouldn't be upset with Disney at all, wouldn't have any hatred towards Disney, right? Well, if you go to Jake Paul's Twitter and you looked at the tweets that he liked a tweet from Oscar that said, "Disney gonna lose ton of views." Oh, it seems like Jakey's salty. I'm pretty sure Disney shit-canned Jake Paul. In related Jake Paul news, Jake Paul doxed Post Malone. Post Malone is good friends with H3H3. They've been on the podcast many times. When H3H3 and Post Malone make content together, it's great. I love it. I've supported it. And last week on the podcast, H3H3 and Post Malone were picking on Jake Paul and his music. You know, just basically saying that it's horrible. It's garbage. But then a couple days ago, Post Malone tweeted out this: "Sorry, Gila Kleiners," where he showed that he was purchasing a bunch of Jake Paul merchandise. Now, if you watch H3H3 and Post Malone, you would know that this had to be a joke. Like, this had to be a meme. There's no way that Post Malone is actually going to be rocking Jake Paul merchandise in public. But Jake Paul, being the big ego, big-headed motherfucker that he is, he actually thought that Post Malone changed his mind and became a Jake Pauler. Like, Jake Paul was convinced that Post Malone was now a fan of Jake Paul. In a video uploaded 2 days ago from Jake Paul titled, "I have a huge announcement," Jake Paul actually filmed himself going to Post Malone's house, delivering him the Jake Paul merchandise. Now, when Jake Paul is vlogging this at Post Malone's house, he's literally showing Post Malone's whole house. I'm not going to show you the footage here because it's an invasion of privacy, but Jake Paul literally put up on his channel for over 5 million people to see where Post Malone lives, the license plates on Post Malone's cars. I mean, this shit's unreal. Now, when I first saw this, I thought, Jake Paul had to have called beforehand, or Jake Paul's people called Post Malone's people, and they set this up for Post Malone to be in the vlog. I honestly thought that. I knew Post didn't like Jake, but I thought maybe he just was in the video for a meme. It didn't cross my mind that Jake Paul would actually, without permission, go and film Post Malone's house and put it up on his channel. But oh my God, I was wrong. Yesterday, a video uploaded by Post Malone's good friend, Ethan H3H3, titled Jake Paul Doxes Post Malone. In the video, Ethan is furious that Jake Paul had the audacity to publicly show Post Malone's house. And when H3H3's video dropped yesterday, even Jenna Marbles responded by saying this: "This is the most horrible, self-serving, illegal, and manipulative invasion of privacy I have ever seen." You go, girl. You go, girl. Love Jenna Marbles. So we know Post Malone bought Jake Paul merchandise, but how did Jake Paul actually get the address to Post Malone's house? Because Jake Paul does his merch through a company known as Fanjoy. So that would mean that when Post Malone purchased this merch, the company Fanjoy gave Post Malone's private information to Jake Paul. And that's fucked up, because if you go to the Fanjoy website and look under their privacy policy, it says, "Fanjoy Company is committed to protecting your privacy. We prepared this private policy to describe to you our practices regarding personal data." Fanjoy, how exactly are you committed to protecting, users' privacy if you gave Post Malone's address to Jake Paul? Now, this is the founder and owner of Fanjoy, known as Chris. Chris, you got some fucking explaining to do. How exactly did Jake Paul get the address of Post Malone? Fucking believable. And now for the news that happened just this morning. Jake Paul's house, the Team 10 house, got swatted. A SWAT team in full SWAT gear with 4 police cars showed up to the Team 10 house and pulled out all the members of Team 10 and put them in cuffs. And we know this was a swatting because none of them were actually arrested. And for those of you that don't understand the term swatting, swatting is when somebody calls in a false police report and says that, someone with a gun is inside murdering people, to trick the SWAT team to come in and, do exactly what happened. Now, Jake Paul wasn't there at the time. He was actually in Miami, but all of the members of Team 10 were seen outside in cuffs. And guys, if you're following me on Twitter, you know that I was talking about more Jake Paul news, a big story that we're working on that was going to come out today. We need to hold off on that. It's not ready, but I can guarantee you by next Friday, this news is going to drop, and it is big. Jake Paul is going to be in really deep shit. And now for our final story. KSI has come back to YouTube. Today, he uploaded a video titled, "Let's Have a Talk." Now, in this video, KSI explains that YouTube used to be about you, but now YouTubers have, million-dollar investors putting money into them, huge production teams, that YouTube has turned into something else. And JJ said that he's guilty of some of this himself, and for him, YouTube became like a job and not just fun like it used to be. And this is why he took a big break. And I have to applaud him for the video. With Jake Paul and Team 10 and all these different vloggers, YouTube is quickly turning into Hollywood, and I don't like it. I want YouTube to go back to being about you, the individual YouTuber. I've been doing YouTube for 8 years, and I've seen pixelated videos turn into mini movies that are released daily. And when you have camera crews and a production company behind an individual vlogging YouTuber, the vlogs and the videos stop being authentic. They stop being real, and it turns into reality television, which we all know is fake. But unfortunately, there is no end in sight to this change, and this is what YouTube is becoming. Guys, I'm sorry to end this video on such a sad note, but if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed the hard work that we're doing here at Drama Alert, please slap a like on it. I don't have a Patreon. I will never ask you for money. All I want in return is a like. Make sure you're subbed with notifications on. We have a lot of stuff that we're working on that's coming out next week. Drama Alert Nation now over 2,090,000 subscribers. Cause yeah, my brother messed up, but he still got his Disney contract.